May I ask a question? We are in the middle of a briefing. Engineers only. Your third equation has a problem. The orbital decay coefficient is set as a constant. It is not a constant. It changes with atmospheric density. Below 110 miles, that value shifts by a factor of 3. If you do not correct it, the capsule re-enters at the wrong angle. Neither outcome is survivable. And who exactly are you? I'm the person who checked your numbers. My name is Katherine Johnson. That equation needs to be corrected. Welcome back to After Hours. I am Vaughn. In 1962, astronaut John Glenn was about to become the first American to orbit the Earth. The most powerful electronic computers in the world had calculated his trajectory, IBM machines that filled entire rooms. The best engineers at NASA had reviewed every decimal place. And then John Glenn made a request. He said 4 words that stunned the flight directors. Get the girl to check the numbers. If she says they are good, I am ready to go. The girl was a 43-year-old black woman from the mountains of West Virginia. She was classified as a computer, a human calculator. She did not have a fancy title or her name on a single mission patch. What she had was a pencil, a mechanical adding machine, and a mind that could see through equations the way some people see through glass. John Glenn trusted her more than the most advanced computing technology ever built. He staked his life on her mind. And he was right to. This is episode 14, The Calculator. Katherine Coleman was born on August 26, 1918 in White Sulphur Springs, West Virginia, a small town tucked into the Allegheny Mountains. Population roughly 2,000. Her father, Joshua Coleman, was a farmer and a lumberjack. Her mother, Joylette, was a school teacher. Katherine was the youngest of 4 children, and from the moment she could speak, something about her was different. She did not just learn numbers, she consumed them. She counted everything. The steps from the porch to the road, the dishes on the table, the stars visible from her bedroom window. Joylette, come look at this. She is sorting silverware into groups. 4s, 8s, 12s. She figured out multiplication on her own. She is 6 years old.
She counted the steps from the porch to the road when she was 3. Told me there were 32. She was right.
By the time Katherine was 10, she was ready for high school. Not almost ready, fully ready. She had devoured every mathematics class available. But there was a problem. The local school for black children only went to the 8th grade. The state of West Virginia did not provide public high school education for black students in many counties. Joshua Coleman looked at his daughter. He watched her solve problems that stumped her teachers. And he made a decision. We are moving. Institute. West Virginia State College has a high school that accepts colored students.
Institute is 120 miles from here. Your work is here.
The farm is dirt and trees. I can find dirt and trees anywhere. That girl counting silverware into groups of 8 is something I have never seen before and will probably never see again. I will not let this county tell her that 8th grade is as far as a colored girl gets to go.
Can we afford it?
I will work the hotel during the resort season. I will drive to Institute when school starts. I will work 2 jobs. I will sleep in the car if I have to. But that girl is going to school. Joshua Coleman kept every word of it. He rented a house 120 miles from the family farm. He split his year in 2. He made that drive every year. He was a lumberjack who never went to college. He could not have solved a single equation in his daughter's textbook. But he understood that an extraordinary mind, unfed, will starve just like an extraordinary body. So he moved 120 miles to feed it. Katherine started high school at the age of 10. She was by far the youngest student in every classroom. She was also the best. Not the best for her age. The best in the school. She graduated at 14. She entered West Virginia State College at 15. And there, in a mathematics department at a small historically black college, she met the professor who would shape the rest of her life. William Waldron Schieffelin Claytor, the third African American in history to earn a Ph.D. in mathematics, a research mathematician who should have been at a major university. Instead, he taught at a small college because no white university would hire a black mathematician. He saw Katherine in his first week of teaching. "Miss Coleman, stay after class. You finished a problem set in 20 minutes. It was designed to take 2 hours. I found a shortcut in the third proof. Once you see the underlying symmetry, the rest collapses into the same transformation applied repeatedly. I designed that shortcut as a trap. Most students do not see it until their third year. You saw it in 20 minutes on your first attempt." Claytor created an entire curriculum specifically for Katherine. He added courses that had never existed before. Analytic geometry of space. The mathematics of objects moving through three-dimensional coordinate systems. 20 years later, that exact mathematics would be used to calculate the trajectories of rockets. You would make a fine research mathematician. One of the best I have ever seen. Colored women do not become research mathematicians. We become teachers. You have accepted a lie. The world does not know what to do with you yet. That is the world's failure, not yours. Katherine graduated summa cum laude in 1937. She was 18 years old, double majored in mathematics and French. The best student West Virginia State had ever produced. And then she went home and became a school teacher, because in 1937, a black woman with a transcendent gift for mathematics had exactly one career option. She could teach children in a segregated school. She married James Goebel. She had 3 daughters. She taught school for 15 years. She was brilliant every single day of her life, and nobody outside her classroom knew it. She was hidden in plain sight, the way a diamond is hidden when you bury it in a field. Katherine was buried for 15 years. In 1953, everything changed. Katherine heard that the National Advisory Committee for Aeronautics was hiring black women with mathematics degrees to work as human computers at Langley Research Center in Virginia. A computer in 1953 was a person who computed, a human being who did mathematics for a living. The West computers worked in a separate building from the white computers. They used separate bathrooms. They ate in a separate section of the cafeteria, behind a cardboard sign that read colored computers. Every day they walked past that sign. Every day they did the same work as their white counterparts. And every day the sign reminded them that the work might be equal, but the workers were not. "Mrs. Goebel, welcome to the West Computing section. The numbers we produce have to say exactly what they mean. One rounding error and a wing fails a stress test. The engineers trust our work. That trust is the only reason we are here. What if the equations they send down are wrong? Then you are going to have a very interesting first week. But be careful. A colored woman can be right all day long, and nobody will hear a word she says. Making them listen is the hard part." Within 2 weeks, the engineers refused to send Katherine back to the computing pool. Her calculations were not just accurate, they were immaculate. Then she did something that shocked everyone. "I would like to attend the editorial meetings." "Those meetings are for engineers. You are a computer." "Is there a written rule that prohibits me from attending?" "I will have to check on that." There was no rule. Nobody had imagined a black woman would ask. So they let her in. At the 4th meeting, she found an error in the aerodynamic coefficients. The error was buried in the 3rd decimal place. Nobody else had seen it. She was right. Within months, her name appeared as co-author on research reports, the first woman in the Flight Research Division to receive credit as an author. That was Katherine Johnson's secret weapon. Not anger, not confrontation, precision. She was so undeniably right that the world ran out of reasons to tell her no. May 5, 1961. Alan Shepard was about to become the first American in space. Every second of the 15-minute flight depended on trajectory calculations. The angle of launch, the velocity at engine cutoff, the re-entry angle. Katherine did the math. By hand. The numbers are clean. Splashdown coordinates fall inside the primary recovery zone. You are certain? The math does not have opinions. It does not guess. These numbers describe a physical reality. If the rocket performs to specification, the capsule will follow this path. It has no choice. Freedom 7 launched. 15 minutes and 28 seconds later, it splashed down exactly where Katherine said it would. America had its first man in space. Katherine was not in mission control. She was at her desk, already working on the next set of calculations. The next mission would be orbital. And the math for an orbital flight was a different beast entirely. February 1962. John Glenn was going to orbit the Earth. 3 complete trips around the planet at 17,500 miles per hour. NASA had acquired IBM 7090 electronic computers, the most powerful calculating machines on Earth. They ran the trajectory. The results came back clean. The mission was ready. And then John Glenn walked in and said something nobody expected. I want Katherine Goebel to check the numbers. The IBM has run the trajectory 3 times. The results are consistent. I do not trust that machine. Not with my life. Get the girl to check the numbers. If she says they are good, I am ready to go. Listen to what John Glenn was saying. The United States had spent tens of millions on the most advanced computing technology ever built. And the astronaut looked at all of it and said, no, I want Katherine. I want the woman with the pencil. Katherine sat down at her desk. She ran the entire orbital trajectory by hand. Every equation, every decimal place. It took her a day and a half. The numbers match. The IBM trajectory is correct. Re-entry angle is within tolerance. The math is good. John Glenn got in the capsule. On February 20th, Friendship 7 launched at 9:47 in the morning. Glenn felt the Atlas rocket ignite beneath him. The vibration rattled through every bone. He entered orbit. He orbited 3 times. He saw 4 sunsets in 4 hours and 55 minutes. He reached 162 miles above the surface. His maximum velocity was 17,544 miles per hour. Every second followed the path Katherine had verified with a pencil. During the second orbit, a warning light indicated the heat shield might be loose. If it detached during re-entry, Glenn would be incinerated. The flight directors made an emergency decision to leave the retropack attached during re-entry. Glenn re-entered the atmosphere. He watched chunks of the retropack fly past his window, burning bright orange. For 4 minutes and 20 seconds, he did not know if his heat shield was disintegrating. He was completely alone, hurtling through fire. The only thing he knew for certain was that the re-entry angle was correct, because Katherine said it was correct. The heat shield held. The trajectory was perfect. Glenn splashed down within 6 miles of the predicted point. John Glenn became a national hero overnight. Katherine went back to her desk and started on the next problem. July 1969. Apollo 11. 3 men at the top of a Saturn V rocket. Armstrong, Aldrin, Collins. They were going to the moon. Katherine calculated the critical components: the launch window, the translunar injection burn, and most importantly, the backup return trajectory, the emergency escape plan. If they lose the service module engine, they can use the moon's gravity as a slingshot. The math is clean. On July 20th, the Eagle touched down on the moon. Houston, Tranquility Base here. The Eagle has landed. The math was right. Katherine's numbers had helped carry 3 human beings to the moon. and almost nobody outside Langley knew her name. Katherine Johnson worked at NASA for 33 years. She co-authored 26 research reports. She retired at 67. And the world had never known about her, because the world had never been told. She had done her work in segregated offices, at a desk in a building that for years did not even have a bathroom she was permitted to use. In 2015, at 97 years old, President Obama placed the Presidential Medal of Freedom around her neck. In 2016, Hidden Figures told her story. Suddenly, 55 years later, the world knew her name. Katherine Johnson died on February 24, 2020. She was 101 years old. Her father saw it first, a little girl counting silverware at the kitchen table.